Welcome everybody to another Earth 2 Presents This Week in Comics. This is if you've been tuned into Earth 2 Comic-Cast, you know we've been doing this series where we've been interviewing a bunch of black comic book creators for the Black History Month. So I just want to thank everyone that's been supporting and listening, and we are continuing with the series today, and I have for you on the show Marcus Newsome. Hey, say hi to everybody. Yeah.
Hello. Is in the building.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
Happy to have you.
Yes, happy to have you. All right. As you guys have known, I've been doing this series with special guest Brianna from our Runaways crew. Say hi to everybody, Brianna.
Hello.
Oh.
And as always on This Week in Comics, I'm doing this with my boy Ziggy. What's going on?
People?
Yeah, we missed you on the last one, Ziggy.
I'm sorry. I'm back. I'm back.
Yes. So, the guest today is Marcus Newsome, and Marcus is a talented comic book creator, and he has he has this bunch of comics that we do. But as always on This Week in Comics, Marcus, on the show that you're on today, we usually talk about comic books and what we've read either the week before or the week of, because this is bi-weekly, and we just talk about that and try to highlight and recommend stuff for our readers. But just so you understand what the show is about, I'm gonna let Brianna and Ziggy go first and tell us about what they've read or what they've been reading coming up to the show. Don't everybody go at once though.
I could go first. It was a short list this week for me. I didn't get to read as much as I want. I have some other things, but the two things that I read that I enjoyed was another issue of Hickman's Black Monday Murders. That story is still going well. Still, I still think it's amazing. Still my best story of 2017, and it's going in 2018, keeping up the quality. So happy about that one. Recommend that for people who have not yet read. Just give you a quick kind of understanding what the comic is about for people who are interested. It's basically a group that kind of uses dark magic and sacrifices to Mammon, kind of controls the world, but they sit as positions as people in like high up CEO positions, so they kind of affect the stock market in the ways that affect the world and change the world, that kind of influence, and their power is kind of through their wealth, and their wealth also gives them more like power in their magic. So it's an interesting comic. It's so much more than that. That's just like a quick excerpt of it. But I definitely recommend giving a try to that one. The other one I would recommend is, this is a lot easier, more for a comic book like traditional, is Doctor Strange. I think new issue came out. I think it was 678. I forget what issue its number is. But that one, actually, I was so off. 385. That one's still going good. Cates has been running with that one for a little bit now. I think he was one of the standout new. I don't know if he was a new writer in 2017, but I definitely think 2017 was his breakout year, and I think he's still going. Let's keep going. And Doctor Strange is another good one. He's doing real well, making it super cool and interesting, the world that he's building around Doctor Strange, and how this whole new world of magic for Marvel. So, also recommend giving that a try for people who want to just finally jump into Doctor Strange.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, Ziggy. Brianna, you got something for us?
I've actually just been continuing to read the comics that I've already talked about, which is Cells at Work and the New Superman.
Yes.
But so I read the second volume of New Superman, which is still pretty cool. He's going on more adventures and learning more about his powers and stuff. And I've also read parts of the comic called Horizon. But I have the issues I have are out of order, but so far it's basically an alien planet goes to Earth because they know that Earth will invade them in the future. I have really jumbled mix because I have 4 issues that are 1, 7, 11, and 15. But what I have read, it sounds really interesting. With that. And that's pretty much it. I haven't been reading much.
Oh, okay. Well, can't fault you. I am not going to go this week because I haven't been reading anything at all. I'm very sorry.
Bad Mo.
I know. That's horrible. So this is great. By the way, so Marcus, I'm gonna assume that as a creator, you sometimes read or you have something you want to recommend to us from something from someone that we don't know or something that you thought was intriguing and you want to share.
Um, Actually, I'm right along there with you. I haven't really been reading lately. I've just been working on books. I'm so sorry.
No, I can't even fault you, man. I can't fault you. I definitely know how it is. So you know what? We're just gonna go right into it then. Before we get into it, Marcus, I want to ask you a question. So, not really a question. I just want you to talk about your what you're working on, and I want you to give the listeners like a brief little taste on it. Like what you expect or what it's about.
Okay. Right now I'm currently working on Lightning Strike issue 2, Decisions and Consequences. It's about the main character's friend decides to make a decision that's going to cost them in the long run.
Okay. Okay. So, yeah. So, Lightning Strike. You said issue 2, and it's gonna make it's about decisions and pretty much making decisions that's gonna cost people in the long run. That's pretty interesting, and that sounds like something I should be reading. But yeah. So we are into the interview portion of the show where we're gonna ask Marcus some questions and try to dig into the psyche of a creator and try to understand more about Marcus and some of his works. So.
So when did you first?
I'm
Okay,
sorry.
never mind.
Go ahead.
Wait, do I? So,
Yeah, go ahead.
when did you first decide that you wanted to create your own comics as a career?
uh, I guess when I first won my first art competition when I was in 11th grade, it was announced over the intercom, and like later on that day, I was being tutored for my SATs, and my teacher was like, "Hey, you should really look into it and make a comic book out of this, and really buckle down and pursue it." It was like I was like, I don't know, but just with some really good friends and really good creative people that's been in my life, just motivating me to do it. It just really was a good idea for me to get into it and really focus on it.
All right, that's fantastic. Art competition in the 11th grade led to Lightning Strike, or something like that.
Yes.
Okay. Well, the question I have for you is, who has been your biggest influence of comics? I'm sorry, who's been the biggest influence in your life outside of comics?
My brothers. I come from a big family. I have eight brothers, and it was pretty rough. But my oldest brother, my brother was like, "Hey, it's good and all that you know how to draw Spider-Man and Ninja Turtles and Dragon Ball Z. You're fantastic at that. But you should really start creating your own things and really focus on that and trying to do something that's of your own." So my brothers was like he just kept telling me that that I should really do my own thing versus keep copying everybody else's work. So my brother Deshaun Newsome.
Shout out to your brothers real quick for
Nice.
pushing you.
Mhm.
Going off that, Marcus, I want to know, like, on specifically, like your comic book career, who has been the biggest influence on that, and like, how has that person changed your work or how helped you evolve your work?
A lot of my friends. I started hanging out with other artists and stuff, and I was seeing what they was doing, and they had this group called Direct Star, and I started attending it, and participating in what they was doing, and he was just telling me that comic books are in right now, and you should really put your comic book out and do it and just tell your story. Don't try to make your comic book too much like everybody else's, but tell your truth.
That's nice. That's nice. It's always good when like-minded people help propel your ideas or help push you. So it's like, it's one thing when it's like major comic book creators that inspire you, but when you're friends, when you're major people who are just in the same thing as you can inspire you, that's awesome. That's always great.
That's great.
Yeah.
What do you do to recharge your creative batteries?
What do I do to recharge my creative batteries? Walking helps me to think. I just got into watching a lot of motivating videos like Les Brown and Zig Ziglar, and just hearing their stories, it just inspired me to just to keep creating and just always try to think outside the box. So just that walking, just being around my friends, it's always it always motivates me to keep working.
That's awesome. So, and just jumping right off that, question is, what goes into your typical work routine, like your typical creativity routine? Like, what do you do, when you're about to sit down to create, or like what goes into that?
What goes into that is I try to I pray just to be clear headed and not get too off what I wanted to do. And as I'm working, I love to watch cartoons. So just doing that, and as far as like tools and stuff is, I love to use pencil and paper before I start anything, just to get the idea flowing before I finalize it in Photoshop and stuff.
Awesome. All right. Awesome. You already answered my question. That's exactly what I was about to ask you. Is like what tools you use, which you already pre-upped that. You were like, I already got this. So it's just so you're just saying like paper and pencil, and then you go to Photoshop.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
How long does that process usually go for? Like a typical page.
A typical page, like me laying, I work pretty fast. As far as like the hands-on stuff, like on pencil and paper, probably less than 10 minutes. Once I got my idea down, it don't take me that long to put it on paper.
Nice.
I used to, it was so funny. I used to have this long process of drawing it, putting it on a light table, tracing over it, putting it into Illustrator, smoothing it, taking it from Illustrator to Photoshop, and putting back all my details that Illustrator destroyed. I saw me do that, and he started laughing at me. He was like, "Why don't you just draw straight from Photoshop? Why don't you just ink and finalize everything straight from Photoshop?"
That's always good.
That's always cool, though. Hey, to get advice and learn. Hey, that's how you do it, right?
What element of your work gives you the most personal satisfaction?
I'm sorry, say it again.
What element of your work gives you the most personal satisfaction?
What element of my work gives me satisfaction is, I think, just the enjoyment of being creative, and knowing that that this product was going to touch somebody, and also just seeing people expressions and stuff after the product is done. Oh, it's just like I can't even describe the feeling in that. It just feels really good.
That's awesome. That's really awesome,
Like
actually.
it's like a breath of fresh air.
It's really great.
Ultimate high.
All right. Right off Bree's question, this one is pretty interesting. What has been the most rewarding project in your professional career, in and out of comics, or in or out of comics, and why?
um, um, I don't like the kind of same of well, my first book. What was so special about me, finishing and doing this book. I literally tell a story and a struggle that I really struggle with, and I was embarrassed to talk to anybody about. And just adding that into my art, and getting people seeing people react to my story. It's amazing.
Wow. So you actually
Oh,
infused your personal story into your work?
yeah, yeah.
Um, I'm sorry, guys, but do you do that often, or is it just that one book that you did it to, and that's like something that you feel really great about?
Um, I find that any project that I work on, um, is always rewarding to me. Anytime I get the chance to, touch the paper and be creative, if people ask me to create something for 'em, and just seeing, their, you know, reaction to it. Like I love excitement. I
Okay.
love seeing excitement, from people. I think I'm a junkie to it. I hope that didn't sound weird.
No, that's
No, no,
actually that's
that's
cool.
that's
That's
pretty
the
cool.
the dream, right? Is to make something cool that someone else can enjoy and get excited about, and hopefully inspire
Yeah,
them to make their own thing. So that's the dream.
Right.
It's actually
yeah,
going
yeah,
on for the
exactly.
person that you and what like hypothetically you're inspiring someone right now, which I bet I'm saying you are. But for that person who's going into it, what advice would you give them if they're trying to do their own project?
Um, I'm gonna say good friend of mine always told me that uh to draw draw from how you feel, and draw and create from person like things that you're a fan of, and have fun doing it and become your own fan. When you become your own fan, the project becomes easier to do. Um, that's something that I've learned. I'm gonna have fun. I'm gonna have fun with it. If I can't have fun with it, I'm not gonna do it. You
Mhm.
know, I suggest just have fun and be your own fan, no matter
Mhm.
what.
Nice. Well, I'm my number one fan. Thank you very much for that.
Some would say you're too much of a fan of yourself, Mo.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right.
You gotta be a critic too.
Right. Right.
So in general, in your life, like what's the most important big idea that you've learned in or out of comics, and like why is that important?
The most biggest idea I've learned, um, most biggest idea I've learned was to be honest and true to your work. And like I said before, have fun doing it, because there's a lot of sharks. There's a lot of sharks that will try to take advantage of you. So knowing that, and just kind of guarding yourself, but having fun, and know what you're worth.
Hmm. Interesting. I have one more question. if no one else has any. So you started drawing, Spider-Man and Ninja Turtles, and your brother said, "Hey, why don't you create something?" So
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure, like on another answer you gave, you said you want to be able to touch people. Where is the end goal?
Okay.
Yeah, where's the end goal for you on these characters that you're creating and this comic books that you're writing? Where do you see it going? Like, do you want to inspire people to copy off your work too? Like, oh, this is lightning strike. I want to draw this as opposed to drawing Spider-Man.
Oh, when I'm glad you kind of clarified that. I kind of never thought about an end goal. I just want to create, and create.
Okay.
Help people as much as possible. Yeah, I would love just to see kids and stuff like creating a lightning strike, and admiring the character. I would love to see it on the big screen. I would love to see it all over the place. That is on my list. But as far as right now, just create and have fun.
Great. So I love that answer, by the way. You just want to create and have fun, and just have fun in doing what you're doing. So that is great, because that shows your passion is deep for the project, and it's not necessarily because you want something more out of it. You would love to see something more out of it, but right now you just want to work, right?
Work, tell my story, and have fun.
Awesome. That's really great. Anyone else have any other questions for Marcus?
Yeah.
Okay.
You go first.
No, you can go first. I actually just wanted a recap on what Lightning Strike is about and like what the general story is and who the character is.
Okay. Well, my question was just going to be simpler. I was like, I wanted to actually, because I meant to ask this last time, and I sadly missed it. I wanted to know like a story that you really enjoyed that outside of comic books, like anything from like TV show, play, movie, book. Like, I like to hear like what's kind of some other stories that you like appreciate.
I love documentaries. Like one of my still to this day is kind of one of my favorite movies was based off of a true story that Will Smith played the character, The Pursuit of Happiness.
Mm-hmm.
And just seeing that struggle, it's motivation to me. I think that's why I love documentaries, because is motivating, and it makes me reflect on my life and the stuff that I've been through, and what can I contribute back to society, and how can I give back, or how can I look at my situation in a positive way, and how can I continue to push forward.
It's always an amazing thing to go through things and to come out to want to help people. I have so much respect for you.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm looking forward to this second issue, because in the second issue, I'm gonna be talking about a lot of important parts as far as what's going on, and of course, I'm gonna add in a lot of true stuff that actually happened to me.
Oh, okay, that's great.
Yeah.
So, Brianna.
Oh, so could you recap? Sorry, could you just like let us know again like what Lightning Strike is about and who the character is?
Okay. So Lightning Strike is. Oh, by the way, the character is based off me and my experience growing up and just dealing with a lot of police brutality, being bullied and picked on by gangs, racial tension with the Hispanics and stuff. So what the character does, I've taken personal things that happened to me and put a superhero in that type of environment. So the character is that light that's surrounded by all these dark people and wants to make a difference in his community.
That is so awesome. That is really, really awesome. And what I really do appreciate is how you are able to tell some personal stories. And it's kind of, what makes it great is there's probably somebody going through something, maybe not exactly similar, that's gonna pick up your comic book and is gonna read it and is gonna just feel just as inspired as you want to make them feel. So I really appreciate your comic book and I really appreciate the story, Marcus.
Oh, thank you. I want to thank you guys again because I know we were supposed to start at 6, and you guys took the time to start earlier, based off me asking. And just thank you for allowing me to actually share my story with you guys.
No, thank you.
Thank you for being on here.
Thank you for agreeing to
Thank you for giving us a chance to interview.
Right. So, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, I was just saying, like, anytime I'm really enjoying this. I'm having a blast right now.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. I feel great.
Hopefully we can do this again. As your story develops, we can do this again.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm just happy that you're happy that you're having fun because I'm sweating it out right now. To be honest, I'm like, I hope he's enjoying this. But yeah, I'm excited that you're excited, and thank you for agreeing to come on. And again, like Ziggy just said, as your story goes on, if you want to share more of it on here, please feel free to just email and we'll coordinate and we'll get this thing going. One more thing. Marcus promised to send a signed book to us so that we can share it to a lucky listener, and that is very awesome. Appreciate it right now. That's something that's going to start right now, and hey, by the time at some point a lucky listener will have a signed Lightning Strike book. I want to thank you again, Marcus, for coming. Thank you, Ziggy, for rearranging. Thank you, Brianna, for rearranging and coming up at the time you guys did. I want to thank everyone that's been listening and supporting Earth 2, especially with this series that we're doing. Again, it doesn't end here. This doesn't end here. We will, again, like Marcus has said, he would love to come back on at some point. We'd love to have you on at some point again. So it's not just going to end here. We're going to do more with a bunch of these creators that we've been talking to. Marcus, before we leave, can you tell the listeners where they can find you?
Okay, so you guys can find me on my website, lightningstrikex.com, my Instagram, my Twitter, lscomics39, Facebook, Lightning Strike. You can find the book on Kindle. Just type in Lightning Strike: A Hero is Born, and also you can get a hard copy if you can order straight from my site if you would like a hard copy, or you can email me straight from my website if you would like a signed or a custom cover comic book from my website, lightningstrikex.com.
So everybody, just once you're done listening to this podcast, go to lightningstrikex.com and order a copy, or go to Kindle if you have a Kindle and you like to read digital like I do. Order a copy, because this story, the way he set it up for you, it's really interesting. And again, I just want to thank you for coming. So we'll support you, and thank you guys for supporting us. This has been Mo Crosby with another Earth 2 Comic Cast presents This Week in Comics. We will catch you on the next one. Hold on. Does anyone want to say anything before we head out?
No, I'm good. Just thank you for tuning in, people. Like always.
All right.
Awesome.
Keep reading comics. Try new things. Expand your mind. Grow as a person.
Again, thank you guys for coming. Peace.